Okay, we're in round one. I think we're going to keep this hand. Obviously, we have two 5-drops, which isn't great, but I think we're on the... Oh, we're on the play. If we draw lands, this hand's a problem. I don't love mulliganing this, though, either. I don't know how fast the format is, either. I'm going to keep it. We'll see. I mean, if I end up drawing 2, 3, or 4-drop creature over the next, well, 4 turns, we're looking fine. We also don't know how... Wow, that card's good. It's a good rare. Alright, Negator is perfectly acceptable. So now we get to go Negator into Raptor at worst. Possibly Negator into Patrol into Raptor, which would be fantastic. Alright, no 2-drop from our opponent. It's a good sign. Alright. Greathorn's a pretty nice draw, actually, especially given that we have Negator. So now our game plan is Negator into Greathorn if we can't get our second blue into Raptor, which is quite good. Lumbering Falls. Alright, leaving up horribly awry mana, but I'm not going to play around it. Reproach is a good draw. Let's go Negator. Actually... I'm going to go Greathorn here. The reason is, there's a better chance I get damage in, and if he has Counterspell, I'd rather him counter the Greathorn than the Negator. And if he doesn't have a Counterspell, I'd rather beat in for 4 than 2. Or have him do something to Greathorn instead of do something to Negator. Okay, Cloud Manta, certainly no big deal. Hedron Crawler. Well, Hedron Crawler is going to work positively with Negator, but I still think we want to play our land, get in for 4, and then play Negator. I'm going to have to pay attention to that Lumbering Falls. He currently can't activate it and block. Just basically trying to set myself up for a nice Expedition Raptor play. Okay. Vestige. Which I guess if he adds green, he could... If he just activates Lumbering Falls, I'm feeling pretty good. I would much rather him try and, like, race us here. Okay. He doesn't get full value off Saddleback, which is fine. Wait a second. He forgot to use Saddleback. He definitely screwed up there. And he's not attacking, which is even better for us. Could Reflector Mage, no point though. I think we're just going to Raptor, get our value town on here. So let's make sure we don't not support like he did. Alright. Well, we did it correctly. And now we shall punish. Do not have the mana. Alright, feeling pretty good now. We have a metric ton of flyers. We have 2 removal spells that we can play both of them next turn. If I were to draw a Holdout Settlement, I can crash in for 10 Xaxis lethal next turn, which is also really good. No blocks, no plays. Interesting. Wow. All right, well, let's go for lethal. Shall we? All right. Guess that works. Ooh. I don't think this card's very good. But opponent did just surge it there, so at best it's a divination when you surge it. That's not that great. Alright, well, as you might expect, we're going to pay some colorless here. Get our flying on. I imagine he just chumps the biggest. We're not going to use our Gideon's Reproach on that. And then we'll play Hedron Crawler. No, he'd rather trade. Do I care about him trading? I don't think so. We're going to let him trade. He still has to deal with both of our flyers. It's not going to be easy. I guess I could have approached there, but... whatever. I can also play Windrider Patrol using the Hedron Crawler to get a blue mana. Warping Whale. Okay. I don't think that card's that great either. In limited. I believe LSV and Marshall were saying that it's got some very real constructed applications, possibly in Modern for the exile creature with power or toughness 1 or less, but not that powerful of a play there. Just getting rid of our ramper that we didn't even need anymore. So keep that tapped. Sure. I guess he did manage to lock us down successfully here. He should have done that on... my turn. But then again, I guess I should have approached to keep my flyer. Well, regardless, we're just going to drop a patrol here. So now he's got to deal with this guy. Yeah, so if opponent had Grip of the Roiled on our turn, this wouldn't untap until our next turn. So opponent just sort of screwed up on that one. So opponent is like... opponent's straight up blue-green. So we shared blue cards with our opponent, but we still ended up with some pretty good ones. He ended up getting a colorless plan going, but we haven't seen a purpose yet for that. We don't have too much in the sideboard realm beyond Searing Light and Dispel. So Dispel would stop his counterspell. It would stop the 3-mana tap draw. What else would it stop? I feel like there's something I'm missing. I'm not really convinced we need to sideboard anything, though, since I felt ahead that entire time. So I think we're going to keep it the same. We're going to keep this. No blue mana, which obviously could be a problem, but we have a Seer's Lantern, which ramps us, potentially into Sire. And we have McKinney Heron out in a Reproach. This just seems like a keep to me, especially on the draw. All right. Same start as last time. Isolation Zone, sure. All right. Next turn's kind of a big turn. We're going to want to draw any mana. Cultivator Drone. Ramp, but only for colorless spells. Okay. I think we're going to attack. Maybe motivate my opponent to attack with the drone. I wouldn't mind turning his ramp element off. Although, how much colorless did we see out of our opponent? I'm not sure. I think getting the reproach out of the way now, that was possibly in our best interest. He is not interested. Reality Smasher. Trample Haste. When it becomes a target of a spell or ability, counter that spell unless its controller discards a card? That seems really good. 5 mana, 5/5 Trample Haste. Alright. I can't even reproach and kill it. Alright, still like a blue mana away from being okay. 3 mana. Less good, but good enough. At least lets us Isolation Zone away the Reality Smasher. Alright, now we're going to keep the Aeronaut back so that we can block the drone. Taking another 5, which is bad news, but if our opponent doesn't have a counter for this Isolation Zone, we're probably okay. Otherwise, if we draw blue mana, we can also Tightening Coils, which is also good. Either way, we're going to have to discard, though. I haven't quite figured out what we're discarding yet. Maybe the Raptor? Maybe the Negator. Raptor feels like it's got a little more impact when it comes in. It's a nasty little curve our opponent's got. Two 5/5 tramples by turn 5? That's nasty. Oof, no land. Well, that's okay, I guess. Alright, so let's Isolation Zone the Walker because could get bigger. We know he's got, and I don't quite want to discard just yet. Are we going to 5? I mean, I guess. Well, no play, I guess, is good news, but it could also mean he has a counter. Oof. That's a rough one. All right. Well. All right. I guess I see the play. So we go Hedron Crawler, and then we block Smasher, and then reproach it after damage to make sure that we can. And we're taking 4. We're going to go to 1, maybe. At best, go to 1. I guess we're going to pitch a Raptor now. Although we still don't have a blue mana, so maybe it's better to keep the Raptor and pitch a Negator still. Let's put a stop on his end of combat. Oh, he got a tap effect too? Oh, okay. Well. Makes things more difficult. So I guess the plan is double chump and then hope to... Actually, I guess we... Okay. Actually, this could be okay. So we're going to chump the smasher and then we're going to reproach the drone. Yeah, it's actually okay. We still have a chance out of this, believe it or not. Oddly enough. Oh, he had a negate too? Bummer. All right, well, opponent had the nut there. Game plan. Anything different? Containment membrane. I mean, yeah, that's going to deal with bigger threats, I guess. More removal. Does have negate. Tightening coils would have been so good there. What do I cut for the containment membrane? Maybe I want to cut a Scythe Master. I still have 15 creatures, and this seems a little bit less impressive if he's got the big fat fatties like that. Alright, let's cut the Scythe Master. I think we can win through flyers. Alright, let's try this again. This hand's pretty ugly. I don't think we want to keep this. Alright, we're going to have to settle for this. Bottoming anything that's not an island. Alright. So we are going to need an island to make this hand work, but I'm hopeful. Oh, we can get rid of that. End of combat step. Stop. Alright. Alright. Could be in trouble again. Nothing to be done about that, though. Really want to land here. Alright. Punished. Very, very punished, but nothing to be done. We mulliganed, bottomed. We've seen 2 more cards, or just 1 more card. So, we've seen 2 cards so far, including the one we bottomed. Should be able to get a land at some point. One would think. I mean, opponent... God, if we had played a 3-drop there, our opponent would have been in serious trouble. Oof. Man, that is really painful. Yeah, not being able to make a play here is really painful. All right, I'm at the whim of my deck. I guess this is how it's got to go down, sadly. Card's really strong too. Our opponent managed to get like every colorless matters strong card. We'd be destroying them right now had we been able to play lands. Guess it doesn't really matter what our opponent takes. Probably Tightening Coil is the best card to take. Took the Sky Climber. All right. It didn't attack, which doesn't make any sense, but I appreciate. So found our blue mana. Second Tightening Coils the Thought Not Seer now. I can leave up Sweep Away. I mean, I am still hunting for more lands. So I could technically end of turn. No, I could, if he attacks with it, sweep it away. And it puts it on top and it lets me draw. Gets rid of his next draw step. Yeah, I guess that's better than playing an Alpha Protector. Otherwise, if he just attacks with Manta, I'll sweep away that, I guess. Which possibly lets me regain a bit of tempo. Probably has the counter spell, but I'm not going to do anything about that. So let's sweep this away. Try to at least. Yep. He had the counter, which is a bummer, but bummers happen. All right. Take too much damage. Find another land. Guess we'll coils this now. Actually, it might be better to... No, I think we gotta coils this now. If I don't coils this now and I play Negator and he's got an answer for the Negator, we're in too much trouble. So we gotta try and minimize some damage here. Oh, man. Alright, that's GG's. Bummer. Alright. Well, we got destroyed by our own mana base, unfortunately, but like I said, these things do happen. Sometimes you get destroyed by your own mana base. I still think 17 is appropriate number since our deck... why am I going to this screen? Since our deck tops out at 6 with 1 card, has 5/5 drops and 2 ramp spells, yeah. We're perfectly fine at 17 lands. I know there's going to be people saying, hey, dude, you should have played 18 lands, but I disagree with that assessment. I think you're doing results-oriented thinking there, which is probably something you shouldn't do. I mean, granted, we're going to lose this, but what can I say? Sometimes you just get punished. Sometimes you get punished in Magic. There's nothing you can do about it. All right. Disappointing first match. Hopefully our deck plays a little bit better for us in rounds 2 and 3.